स्लीपी क्लासेस के सारे सब्जेक्ट
मुझे पता चला था कि स्लीपी क्लासेस
स्लीपी क्लासेस
मेरा स्लीपी के साथ इंटरेक्शन हुआ।
स्लीपी क्लासेस
I completely relied on your channel.
स्लीपी की वीडियोस भी देखी हैं।
स्लीपी क्लासेस
स्लीपी क्लासेस इज वन ऑफ दोस मतलब इंस्टीट्यूशन जहाँ पे सभी टीचर अच्छे हैं.
Hello everybody, my name is Benjo and I've secured All India rank 59 in this year's UPSC Civil Service Examinations 2023, and through this platform of Delhi Knowledge Track I would like to share with you my prelim strategy. तो इंट्रोडक्शन के पहले एक बात मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि मैं हिंदी में इतना प्रोफिशिएंट नहीं हूँ, तो I'll try to mix both Hindi and English while talking. Okay, so a little bit introduction about me. This was my 4th attempt and my second mains. In my first 2 attempts I could not clear prelims, and in my 3rd attempt I reached till the interview stage, and in my 4th attempt I have got this rank. So when we talk about prelim strategy, I would want to tell you what I did not do in my first 2 prelims or what I did do in my first 2 prelims, and क्यों पहले 2 बार प्रीलिम्स नहीं हुआ था और तीसरी बार जब मैं प्रीलिम्स क्लियर किया था तो कैसे किया, और 4th अटेम्प्ट में डिस्पाइट आई कुड स्टडी ओनली फॉर 10 days, क्योंकि मैंने जैसे बताया मेरा 3rd अटेम्प्ट में इंटरव्यू हुआ था, उसके बाद मुझे बहुत कम टाइम मिला था, लेकिन देन अगेन इवन आफ्टर हैविंग लेस नंबर ऑफ डेज आई कुड स्टिल क्लियर द फॉरेस्ट कट ऑफ ऑल्सो इन माई 4th प्रीलिम्स. तो what did I do between the after my 2nd prelims and before the 3rd prelims ki I could crack 2 consecutive prelims? This is what I would want to share with you guys. So when we talk about prelims, the most important thing, and I tell this to everybody, I think the most important thing is the basic books and the most simple things that one must do. So when we talk about basic books and when we talk about the simple things, the resource list everybody knows. But मैं एक और बार जो मैंने किया था वो मैं आपको बताता हूँ, और वो मैंने अच्छे से किया था. तो क्या किया, फॉर पॉलिटी जैसे सब लोग पढ़ते हैं, आई हैड ऑल्सो रेड लक्ष्मीकांत. फॉर मॉडर्न इंडिया आई हैड रेड स्पेक्ट्रम. फॉर एंशिएंट एंड मिडिवल इंडिया आई रेफर टू themes in Indian history part 1, 2, 3 and chapter 6, 7th and 8th NCERT. So this was what I did for ancient and medieval, and also for ancient medieval I referred to Wikipedia to just get a timeline. And for art and culture I had read that fine arts NCERT, that is of class 11th. For science and technology my strategy was very resources were different. एक मैंने बहुत सारे वेबसाइट से मैंने अपने प्रिपरेशन किए थे, नोट्स बनाए थे, जैसे सिविल्स डेली हो गया, लोटस अराइज करके एक वेबसाइट है वो हो गया, ला एक्सेलेंस, और बहुत सारे वेबसाइट से मैंने अपने जो स्टैटिक के कंटेंट थे वो मैंने इकट्ठे किए थे. और उसके बाद साइंस एंड टेक के लिए मेनली जो हेवीली करंट अफेयर्स में जो आता था वो मैं करता था. एनवायरनमेंट के लिए मैंने PMFIS का बुक रेफर किया था, और इकोनॉमी आई हैड डन फ्रॉम रोनाल्ड सर्स नोट्स, एंड ज्योग्राफी मैंने NCERT किए थे, 11th and 12th के NCERT. सो दिस वाज ऑल ऑफ माय रिसोर्सेज. जो मेरा बुक लिस्ट था वो ब्रॉडली यही रहा. बुक्स आई हैड रेड नाइसली, एंड इनके जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स थे इनमें से जो मुझे मेमोराइज करने थे वो मैंने सारे अपने 3rd अटेम्प्ट में अच्छे से किया था. So this was the difference between my 2 prelims that I could not clear and my 3rd prelims in which I could clear. In my first 2 prelims मैंने ये books in my first prelims I did not finish reading any book. I had read some areas of some books, but I did not read all of the books. In my 2nd attempt I did sort of read all of them, but I could not revise all of them. Some books I did not complete also, and many mocks I had not taken. So I was not proficient. मैं जो हम बोलते हैं कि एक बुक में से जो भी क्वेश्चन आएगा वो सारे हमें करना है, तो दैट लेवल ऑफ प्रोफिशिएंसी, उस लेवल का अंडरस्टैंडिंग मुझे नहीं था अपने 2nd अटेम्प्ट में. तो यही मैंने किया अपने 3rd अटेम्प्ट में, एंड दिस इज द फर्स्ट पॉइंट ऑल्सो, दैट यू नीड टू बी प्रोफिशिएंट एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग इन द बेसिक बुक्स, जो सिंपल सी थिंग्स है उसमें आपको बहुत अच्छे से स्ट्रॉन्ग होना पड़ेगा. तो जैसे आपके इकोनॉमी के कॉन्सेप्ट्स आ गए, तो उसमें आई थिंक दैट यू नीड टू बी वेरी well aware of all the concepts, and our intention should be that any question comes from the basic books and from our static material. Now we should not get them wrong, so this should be the first and foremost thing that anybody should keep in mind. And in my third attempt I focused on this. I finished all the books and all the materials that I had to do, and I did not diversify to many other books. I just read one book or whatever I've said, and I did multiple revisions, or I tried to be very good, have a good understanding in those books only, and I tried to be proficient in those books. So this is what I did in my third attempt, and this gave me the strength to attempt the paper. And so like I said earlier, जैसे मेरे fourth attempt में मुझे बस 10-15 दिन ही मिले थे prepare करने के लिए, लेकिन because in my third attempt I had done all the foundation, all the concepts very strong, इसलिए in my fourth attempt I could make the less number of days also to my use, कि मैं अच्छे से वो 10 days भी use कर सकते थे. तो this is the first thing about basic books, and any question comes from the basic books, make sure that you do not get any of them wrong, and hardly 10-15 questions only will come from the basic books directly. बाकी और क्वेश्चंस इन द प्रीलिम्स वुड बी डिफरेंट, और उसमें आपको लॉजिकल गेस या ये सब आपको लगाने पड़ेंगे. और वैसे यू नो इवन इफ अ क्वेश्चन कम्स फ्रॉम द बेसिक बुक्स, तब भी जस्ट 2 ऑप्शंस ओनली मे बी यू कुड एलिमिनेट, 2 ऑफ देम विल स्टिल रिमेन. सो दैट इज अनदर थिंग एंड वील टॉक अबाउट दैट लेटर. बट द फर्स्ट एस्पेक्ट इज ऑल योर बेसिक बुक्स. उसमें से कोई भी क्वेश्चन आपको छूटना नहीं चाहिए. मेक दैट एब्सोल्युटली स्ट्रॉन्ग, एंड वंस दैट फाउंडेशन इज एब्सोल्युटली स्ट्रॉन्ग, देन no matter how many attempts come, you only need to revise. So this is the first thing that I want to tell about the basic books. Second thing is about PYQs. So PYQs में क्या होता है कि many a times people just read the PYQs and they just read the content of the PYQs, और सारे options देखते हैं, और जो knowledge है they run behind the knowledge of the PYQs. I am telling that is very important. In my opinion 2013 to 2023 11 years PYQs are very important. उसमें से जो भी question है, if any question out of these 1100 questions repeat, because in 11 years there are 100 questions, so any of these 1100 questions repeat, we must not get them wrong. So your 2013 to 2023 all the PYQs must be handy. You must read them multiple times, you must understand them, and any knowledge that is there, any options that have come in any of these PYQs, we need to be absolutely thorough with all of that. So the knowledge aspect of the PYQ is very important, and I think everybody should focus on that. So especially in the last days, about 30 days 60 days just before prelims, in my opinion the mock test that any institute that we solve from any institute, that is less important in my opinion. What is more important is PYQs. So if we solve year by year PYQs, if we solve PYQs multiple times, then that will give us a little bit more better understanding of how UPSC asks the questions rather than some other institute. So this is the importance of PYQs, and like I said earlier, whatever question comes from the PYQs, we must get them right. Now the second aspect about PYQ is that when we are reading the basic books, then most of the times we don't read it from an exam perspective. क्या होता है कि हम जो चीज़ हमें नहीं करना है या लेस प्रायोरिटी एरियाज है वो हम ज़्यादा करेंगे. जैसे अभी हिस्ट्री मॉडर्न के बारे में अगर हम बात करें, तो मैंने बहुत सारे, जब मैं व्हेन आई वाज राइटिंग, मैंने बहुत सारे मतलब PYQ देखे थे, और बिफोर दिस 1857, बिफोर 1800s वाले, बिफोर 1600s, a lot of questions from there was not where UPSC was not asking those sort of questions. या फिर पॉलिटी में अगर हम बात करें तो लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नेंस, पंचायती राज इंस्टीट्यूशंस, इसके ऊपर में UPSC does not ask a lot of questions. In fact, from Panchayati Raj, I don't even remember any question from any of the committees that have come for Panchayati Raj. And if you think like this, in all of the subjects, there would be certain areas which are more important, certain areas which are less important. Now, we'll understand these areas only if we do PYQs. So this is the second aspect about PYQs. Key, we will know what to read from the basic books from the PYQ. So PYQ is like the filter that we should apply to all the content that we are reading. So the basic books should be passed through this filter of PYQs. Okay? So this is the second aspect of PYQ. First aspect was the knowledge aspect, and whatever question comes from the PYQ we should be able to solve it. Second aspect is we read the content, the basic books from the lens of the PYQ. Now the third aspect about PYQ is a lot of people talk about tricks and tips about solving prelims. Key prelims is about logical guessing, elimination technique. Now a lot of people come with rules and tricks for solving. But in actuality, these rules and tips are just common sense that anybody could derive if they read PYQs. So the people who come up with tips and tricks, and they're just coming up with insights that they've gathered when they've read the PYQs. So this is the third aspect about PYQs. If we need to eliminate certain options, if we need to understand how UPSC is framing the questions, then we need to look at the PYQs to understand how UPSC is framing the questions, how UPSC is giving the options, and how we can eliminate certain options and come to the correct option by analyzing the PYQs. So this is the third aspect about PYQs, in which we read the questions and we don't just understand the content of it, the knowledge of it, but we try to understand the logic behind it, and we try to see the PYQ, the question, as well as we equate it to the official answer key. We see the official answer key, not any other answer key that is released by any institute, but the official question paper, official answer key.
स्लीपी क्लासेस के सारे सब्जेक्ट
मुझे पता चला था कि स्लीपी क्लासेस
स्लीपी क्लासेस
स्लीपी क्लासेस
स्लीपी क्लासेस
Sleepy classes.
मेरा स्लीपी के साथ इंटरेक्शन हुआ.
स्लीपी क्लासेस
Sleepy classes. I completely relied on your channel.
तो सिर्फ स्लीपी की वीडियोस ही देखी हैं.
स्लीपी क्लासेस.
स्लीपी क्लासेस इज वन ऑफ दोस मतलब इंस्टीट्यूशन जहाँ पे सभी टीचर अच्छे हैं.
And when we see both of them side by side, then we will get to know that okay, these are certain techniques that I could use, or these are certain insights that I have gathered, which if I use correctly, then I could maybe clear the prelims. So this is the third aspect about PYQs that I wanted to mention. Okay, now the third point that I want to talk about prelims is mock test. So the first aspect, like I told, was the basic books. The second aspect was PYQs, and the third aspect is mock test. So in mock test, now different people have different approaches. Some people write about 100 mock tests, some people write only 10, 15, some people write 50. So the number of mock tests really, in my opinion, do not matter. It depends upon you to write mock test. It is not the case that if you write 100 mock tests, you will surely clear, or if you only write 10 mock tests, you will never clear. See, none of these extremes work either in UPSC exam or in real life. So it is that one must understand their sweet spot regarding mock test. In my third attempt, I did about 35 to 40 mock tests, maybe about 25 to 30 sectional tests, and about 10 to 15 full length mock tests. I am not able to correctly tell you the number because this was about 1.5 years before. So what in my opinion people should do is focus on mock test only to analyze their performance, and not to compare with other people how much marks somebody else is getting. So in my mock test, about the 35-40 odd mock tests that I did, my main intention of the mock test was to analyze if certain things. Number one, if I could complete the question paper in 2 hours. Number two, if some of the logical guesses that I take are getting right or not. Number three, how many iterations or how many rounds do I have to do the prelims with. Earlier I used to just take the first question, solve to the 100 question, and then if some question is left out, I used to come back. But then in my mock test I tried different methods. So from other people I got to know that you could attempt the UPSC prelims in 3 rounds. First round you only solve the questions that you are 100% sure about. Second round you solve the 50-50 questions. Third round you solve some random questions, some 5 to 10 questions in which you have an instinct about. So these sort of things I understood and I practiced during my mock test. So in my mock test, these were the things that I tried to analyze. The first is about whether I could solve the questions. Second is how many rounds, how many iterations I could take. And these are the sort of things that, in my opinion, what one must try to understand in the mock test, rather than scoring as many marks or scoring some marks and then seeing if the other person has this much marks, or seeing if we have scored 100 marks or 90 marks. Rather, in mock test, we should focus on analyzing our performance and analyzing our efforts, also analyzing our strengths and weaknesses. So in my mock test, I realized that certain areas such as environment were my strong area. Certain areas like ancient medieval was not really strong. Art and culture was not really strong. So then in the actual exam also, if a question comes from ancient medieval, art and culture, then I would not maybe attempt that question, but rather I would attempt an environment question. So these sort of insights we'll get only once we solve mock test about our preparation. So mock test helps us evaluate our preparation, and this is why mock test should be used. Now I know a lot of people, they have a lot of anxiety when it comes to mock test, but still in my opinion, one must always face the mock test, because if we sweat during practice, then we will not bleed during the war. So it's better to write mock test, score really less, than not take mock test at all and then score really less in the prelims. Another thing that I want to tell about mock test is, many a times we will not score that much marks in mock test. If you remember, you could go to, there is a topper AR1 of 2020, Shubham Kumar sir. He had said in one of his Telegram posts in his channel that he had scored only about 50 to 60 marks in one full-length test of a very prominent institute, and he could score very less marks in the mock test, in a full-length mock test conducted just 1 month before prelims. But in the actual prelims, he scored twice the number of marks that he scored in the mock test. So mock tests sometimes do not tell you if you would clear the prelims or not. Mock test could only be used for your own strength, for analyzing your own performance, rather than fixing your fate when it comes to prelims. So rather than fixating on the marks of the mock test, try to approach it from an objective perspective to evaluate your own performance. Okay. So these are the three main things that I want to tell you about prelims. I hope this video, you would find this video helpful, and I'm really thankful for DKT to have given me this platform to share with you these things that I want to tell about prelims. Thank you.